Hello, stock traders. I hope all of you had a good day. Feeling really good about the market. It seems to be very stable, at least at the moment, even with everything that's going on in the world, which is really amazing. So it has been a fantastic year, really, considering everything that's happened. For the market to be at all-time highs is really pretty amazing. Well, let's get to it. On Tuesday, if you were following the top 7 and others from yesterday's list, if you were equally in each one, you would have had a 1.21% gain average. My personal gains for the day was a 7.34% return. So I had some terrific returns today, and I'm going to kind of cover how I did that. There were people in our standard group, believe it or not, that had as high as a 10.3% gain. And so there were lots of great gains in that room today. So our standard room continues to perform well. Month to date, if you are following this list, you should be really close to about a 6.34% gain so far this month. That is pretty good, really. I mean, as far as we are in the month, right at 1 week and 1 day. Still a lot of time left in the month, and so I think that there's going to be some big gains coming forward. I've had 4 green days in a row, so love that. This list has definitely done well in the last 4 days. Year to date, I am at a 1,163% return gain for the year. Now, it sounds so strange to say. Just had a terrific year. I hope to outdo this year someday in my life, but I don't know if it will happen. I mean, that is pretty amazing. Just definitely had a lot of things fall into place for me. Day trading today, so CRIS and LXRX were the 2 that I day traded. Overall, had a 58% gain trading those 2 stocks, and so that was pretty fantastic. Was able to really get some great gains out of it. Chris was the one that did really, really well. Okay, I'm going to cover some of the sales that I had in our standard room. I'm going to start doing this so that all the viewers can see some of the gains that we're getting on some of the different stocks. And these are all the sales that I had from the PEIX of the standard room. I sold CHWY options, so Chewy options, for a 96% gain. So that was a really terrific investment over 2 weeks. Had that about 2 weeks. And then FUTU options sold for a 13% gain. Only had that a few days. MDB options sold for a 10.5% gain. Had that for about a week. VGAC stock sold for a 10.65% gain. That was over 2 weeks. FTCH stock sold for a 9.72% gain. Had that for about a week. And GOGO options had that, since I called this out earlier in the month as an insider and I bought option contracts on it, had a 355% gain. So that was really terrific. A lot of these calls came from my buddy John, who's in that room. Some are from me, some are from Devin, and some of the different members within the group. Some really good trades going on through there. I had 2 sales off of the top 7 list. It was time for me to part ways with ELYS. What a terrific investment that was. Sold Ellis for a 53% gain. So that is one way I was able to have such terrific gains today. I was able to sell that early in the day and got a couple more percentage points out of it. I also sold RAVE for a 9.2% loss. That is one I just needed to take my lumps on and move on. It did better throughout the day, so if you still have that, it does seem to be doing better, but it's been too long since it's insider activity, and it was time for me to cut my losses so I could put my money into something that's going to give me a better return. Just a quick plug for Webull. I love to use Webull for all of my trading, and the reason why I do is because you can trade as early as 3 a.m. Central, as late as 7 p.m. at night. If you are looking for a powerful broker that has great tools and is easy to trade and fills orders very nicely, I highly recommend you check him out. Right now, you get 1 free stock when you sign up, and you can get up to 3 more free stocks when you deposit money. So there's some great deals going on. Check it out in the description down below. We have a link in there, and you could definitely get those advantages by using that link. Okay, here we go. Now it's time. So we got the top 7 plus 3. These are some of the calls that we have in our Patreon group. Let's get to it. We got a lot to cover. Here we go. The first one is ATNX, ATNX. On Tuesday, this finished down 1.03%. My average in it's $13.42. Since calling this stock out, it is down 6.48%, which is not good. But keep this in mind. The insider activity has been going on for about 2 months in small amounts. Insiders have been buying up shares of this stock, and I believe it's in anticipation, or could be in anticipation, of the presentation that is tomorrow, December 9th. So phase 2 data. So we have some interesting information coming out. So there could be a catalyst there. Also, they have a PDUFA date at the end of the month. And so this is another reason to be in the stock. I think that this one could really run up as we get closer to that date. Analysts have an average target on this stock at $27.41. There is tons of upside, over 100% upside on the stock, according to analysts. So I think that this one will do well. The next is CHMA, CHMA. On Tuesday, this finished up 0.43%. My average in it is $4.33. Since calling this out in our Discord, it is up 7.14%. And David, stock director, bought a lot of shares, and it was a bullish transaction. It's getting a little bit older, but I love the analyst target on this. The analyst target on this is $13.80. I'm expecting some sort of news catalyst on this, and so I've just been holding until I see that news happen on this. I like this stock. I've owned it before in the past and done very well with it. So I'm just content to hold it and wait for that news to come out or to see more insider activity. At some point, yes, I will sell it, but right now I'm enjoying the little run that it's on. It's up a little bit each and every day, and so as long as that momentum is there, I plan on holding. The next is GOGO, and if you own this stock, you are loving it. And on Tuesday, this finished up 15.97%. My average in it is $10.04, and since calling this one out in our Discord, it is up 24%, so it's doing extremely well. You might ask, why isn't it in the top 7? Well, it has been a couple days since insider activity, and now we've had news out on it. I may hold this another day or so, but unless something changes, I'll wait for momentum to die down on this, and this one could be one that we move out of. But Robert Crandall bought $20,000 worth of shares in open market, and there was obvious news that came out. So today, their credit rating got moved up, and since that happened, man, the stock really started to surge. And I had some call options on that I'd kind of placed from our standard room, and man, I made a huge profit on those. So those were really great. You know, the insider activity is always the news before the news. And so it's either a news pick or it's a value pick. And if you are looking for a book on how this is done, I highly recommend that you check out George Musea's book, The Few versus the Trivial Many, Following the Insiders, Not the Masses, and is a very good book. And it's one, when I read it, it changed my investing life. It changed the way that I invest in stocks. It really helped me to develop this strategy. It is a very good read. I highly recommend that you check it out. We should have a link in the description down below. I think it's very good. All right, now to the top 7. Number 7 is FL, Foot Locker. And this one has done really well on the list since it's been added. Hopefully you got in on this at the beginning. On Tuesday, this finished up another 3.26%, so it is really doing well. $39.44 is my average. Since calling this out in our Discord, it is up 7.43%. Daniel Kredinsky bought $37 million worth of shares at $38.28, and today we found out that with shares that you get voting rights, and so that's something that hasn't been the case in the past. So that news was announced today, and the stock moved up and responded to that. Analysts have an average target price on Foot Locker at $52 a share. So there is some upside still left in it. All right, number 6 is KRMD, and this is Repro Med Systems, and this one has really done well for us also since we put it on the list. On Tuesday, it did have a down day, so this is the first down day that it's had. It was down 3.57%, but I'm not discouraged at all. My average in it is $4.90. Since calling this out in our Discord, it is up 10.50%, so it's doing very well. John Fletcher, director, bought shares 2 different days. There's been a lot of new insider activity happening on this, CFO, some other different officers, so on and so forth. Analysts have an average target on this stock at $10.50, and today early, even though it was a small transaction, there was another insider purchase today. So it seems that insiders are buying each and every day as much money as they can. It seems like maybe those officers don't have as much funds as you typically do with a lot of different companies. This is a smaller company. You know, it is very encouraging to me, even though it's $1,000 here and $3,000 here, and that's much smaller than most insider activity. I like it because it keeps happening by different officers. So there's got to be something going on here. I'm just holding real high analyst targets. So this thing is going to be a skyrocket if it gets any kind of news. It has a low float and this sucker could fly. I like KRMD for all of those reasons, and I think it's going to do well. Number 5 is AVT. This is Avnet. And on Tuesday, this finished down 0.88%. My average in it's $32.71. Since calling this out in our Discord, it is down 0.61%. So just barely down, not that big of a deal. But there's a nice direction director buy that happened just a few days ago on this for a total of $290,000. And I like that they have an analyst target of $37 a share, according to analyst average target. And so I could see that this does have some upside to it. So I like it for that reason with the insider activity, and we shall see how it does. But this seems to be a value play. I think this is one that's going to do well for us, just kind of slowly churn upwards. All right, number 4 is HMHC. This is Houghton Mifflin. On Tuesday, this finished up 2.25%. This one is brand new to the list. So here's a new insider for you. $3.56 is my average. Since calling this out though, I am down in it 5.29%. So that has not been great, but good insider activity. Daniel Allen, director, loaded up, and he did so 2 days in a row. And so I love to see that when an insider goes back and not only buys just one day, but gets multiple days. I like those type of insiders. Those are typically really, really good. Analysts have an average target price of $5 a share. So HMHC is one that could really do well, especially with that insider activity continues. That will push the price upwards. Number three is ATCX. This is Atlas Technical. Now this one is a smaller volume stock than I typically pick. This is brand new to the list. On Tuesday, this finished up 5.94%. My average in it $7.31. Since calling this out in our Discord, it is up 2.46%. But in after hours, this one got a nice little boost, and it's now up over 6% since I called it out. That's tonight's after hours. But the chief accounting officer and a director loaded up an open market, very bullish open market transactions, and both went in. I love to see multiple officers. So for those reasons, I really like this stock. Analysts have an average target price of $13.50. So because of that, I like this one to really move upwards, and who knows, we might see some more insider activity on it. So far it's doing well, but I think it will do much, much better. So there's still time to get in this and do well. If you are watching on YouTube, there's still plenty of time. This next one is Multiplan, MPLN. On Tuesday, this finished down 4.30%. Extremely bullish insider activity. This one is brand new to the list, but we've had this in the past, and this one's done pretty well. Typically, every time there's insider activity, I tend to have it for 3 days and should make for everybody anywhere between 3 and 7% just about every time. So far, this has not been great, but it's only been 1 day. This is brand new. $8.64 is my average since calling this out in the Discord. It is down 3.24%, but Alan Thorpe, director, put in $14 million in Tuesday morning. So that was early this morning. That's a lot of money. So analysts have an average target price on this at $10.50. There seems to be something brewing. Every time the price dips on this, insiders are loading. So this is like a value type pick. And so I think that this one is going to do really well. There's some news behind it. This is a SPAC. They're going to merge with somebody. It's going to be a big deal. And then all of a sudden the stock's going to be $15, $20. And I'm going to get a ton of messages saying, is it too late to enter? And I'm going to say, well, why didn't you enter when I talked about it? So here's your notice on this. This is Multiplan, and I think it's really going to do well. All right, number 1 is HCHC. So far, this has not really done well for us. This has been on the list for a couple of days. This is HC2 Holdings. On Tuesday, it only finished up a meager 0.57%. Hopefully, you are in this thing. Since calling this out, it is only up about 1% since I called it out, but I got a terrible entry point on this. I mean, and we were way down in this, and it really jumped in after hours today. My average in it's $3.66. But Eric Glazier has now bought a total of $10.3 million worth of shares in open market. We've had this particular insider loading each and every business day now for 6 business days in a row. I love these. There's a stock called Safe that every time when this happens, I tend to make 40, 50%. I'll buy options on it, maybe make 250%. There's another stock Vox that this happens a lot. Another stock Myov, MYOV, that's Myovent Sciences, that'll do the same thing, where one insider will continue to buy over a long period of time. I'm not saying HCHC is one of those, but we got 6 days in a row now, and it seems to be that way. Analysts have an average target price on this at $8.50, so it's well over 100% upside. With that insider activity, if that continues, this thing is going to fly. I think it's going to continue upwards, and it really really had a great aftermarket after that insider activity was reported yesterday. I do lots of work for this list, so if you please do me a favor, please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't seen me before, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when one of these videos comes out. I'm feeling good about the market. I don't know about you, but I'm expecting this to continue. January is typically a phenomenal month. It is the best month for insiders. I'm wishing all of you the best of luck trading. Let's have a great day tomorrow, and Raythoven out.